Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and it's time for this past week's The Gaga on Drinks and Drag. With the resident Papi Chulo, Remy. Come get your face beat by the one and only drag beauty queen, Lindsay Aguilera. And the one and only troublemaker himself, Kris Avalon. So grab a drink and come on in, because the lounge is open 24/7.
Wagwan Mayot. It's your boy Kris Avalon, and welcome to another episode of Drinks and Drag, a 3-panel show where we basically just spill all the tea on what's going on in hot topics and what's trending in LGBT news, as well as all things entertainment or pop culture, whatever you want to call it. As I said before, it's your boy Kris Avalon, panelist and moderator of Drinks and Drag. Thank you all for tuning in to another exciting episode. We have a lot of topics that we're going to be getting to tonight, including we got more tea on this whole Jamie Lynn and Britney debacle, but she's speaking on her sister's mental health, even though she said she won't speak on her sister's mental health. We got Ray J out in these streets saying dumb shit about that men should only wear dark underwear so people don't see they doo-doo streaks. Yeah, I know, it's a child. A 22-year-old OnlyFans page is gonna probably get him thrown in jail for a while. I think about up to a couple of months, maybe a year. We'll give you some more tea on that. Plus, we got some fallout from what's going on with And Just Like That. There's some drama that's been going on with that apparently one of the writers of the show is receiving death threats over because apparently people don't like the show. And we're going to talk about Diaz, the non-binary character on the show. Apparently people aren't liking the character. And Sara Ramirez, who plays the non-binary character and is non-binary in real life, is saying that they don't care whether or not you like Che's character. And so we're going to speak on that and get the panel's opinion on what they think of And Just Like That so far, and if they agree with what Sara, as she says, say their name is. Plus we got some tea on Khloe Kardashian. This fallout with her and some racist stuff she's done in the past is coming back to haunt her, and the fans are pretty much saying they want Hulu to cancel the upcoming Kardashians series that's going to be coming on the streaming service. Plus, we got some tea on Nicole Scherzinger and the fallout with the Pussycat dolls and a whole lot more. But first, before we get to all these topics, let's bring in our panel. You know her, you love her. She's always serving looks in every episode. I'm always excited and anticipating what hair she's going to give, what outfit she's going to give, what look she's going to give. And she's going to be giving yet another fierce look. So without further ado, let's bring in my sister from another mister, the one and only Lindsay Aguilera.
Hi, everyone. Good to see y'all here supporting us again. You love this? You love this look?
Yeah, she's serving waves. I'm loving the hair because I was like, when you had the clip-ins before, I was like, what is going on? And then when she took them out, I was like, and then when she took them out, I was like, okay, I see, body, yada, yada, serving body.
The clips is to keep it in place in case I gotta, move. Now we're doing the show, so it's out and it's ready. A little rocker chick, a little pop, a little adore, very Lindsay. This is very much a Lindsay look. Hi, welcome.
Yes, welcome. And of course, every time I say resident Papi Chulo, an angel gets his wings, or, a bottom gets her rite of passage. We won't say that, like, we didn't practice that. It was like, yeah, bottom gets something.
Definitely not.
Without further ado, let's bring it in, our resident Papi Chulo, Remy.
Remy.
Hey, can I tell you that I was on the same page as y'all? Oh wait, because I always forget to do this.
What about the bottom thing too?
Yes, because I was like, in my mind, I was like, every time y'all say that, I was like, a bottom finds their top.
Yes!
I was just like, we're all on the same page today.
Okay. Shout out to all the bottoms. So yeah, we have a lot of interesting, juicy topics to get into. Everybody's good. We're well refreshed. I'm drinking water because I'm still like overcoming this whole Omarion situation. So I am trying to be jumping right into the alcohol and all that good stuff.
I feel very Miranda. No matter in the last few episodes, one of us wasn't able to have a drink. We was whatever the situation was, but I always seem to be able to have my bottles in hand. So I feel like I'm the Miranda of this group. There's no excuses for me not to drink. I love it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna be like Charlotte and try to tell you like, oh well, don't be drinking. Watch what you're drinking.
No, I'm the carry this week because I was just glued to my bed. I didn't have the energy to get up and pee. So I am drinking Pepsi.
At least
Love
not
it.
in a bottle. But as Carrie did when she had to go to the bathroom on her episode not too long ago. But so let's get right into these topics. So let's talk about the Kardashians because apparently one of them is in some hot water. So Khloe Kardashian was slammed for once dressing as a pimp and putting her black friends on leashes after a clip of her using the N-word resurfaced not too long ago. The 37-year-old wore the controversial costume on a red carpet in the mid 2000s. So people start digging up stuff and things start to come back to haunt them. Now, the controversial costume consisted of Khloe wearing a light blue blazer, matching pants, a white tank top, and a top hat. The Keep 'Em Up with the Kardashian alum stood in the middle of Women for Black Women, which included her best friend Malika Hawk and actress Megan Good. The women wore white lingerie and blue collars, which were attached to leashes held by Khloe. Now, fans recently took to Reddit to slam Khloe for the pimp costume, as one person called the TV personality tone deaf. Another wrote, "This is super upsetting." And then also, this whole situation that happened, and hopefully we have the clip of it, where there was a clip that had came out, and I was like, "Ooh, we definitely got to talk about this." A racist old clip where Khloe reemerged from on when she was on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Now, in the scene, to give it context, the reality star spoke to defend her sister Kim after trolls accused her of appropriating Black cultures, a topic we talked about a couple of weeks ago on the show. It was an interesting debate when we talked about that. Now, when offering a response to the haters, Khloe said, "Fact, my baby is black. I only like black cock." That's what I would say. And then again, she wound up saying, well, if someone calls me an N lover, that's, I guess perfectly fine. But we have that clip, so we're going to play that clip, and then we're going to come back and get the panel's opinion on the matter. Roll the clip. Roll the clip. Ow.
Hashtag fact. My baby is black. Hashtag I only like black. That's what I would say. All I get called is a lover all day long. Who the cares?
Well, apparently a lot of people, particularly Black folks, care that you would be calling yourself an N lover, and how it so easily just rolls off the tongue. And people like Khloe, which I think is the overall argument that a lot of Black people have when it comes to race mixing, is how comfortable white people get when just because you sleep with a Black man and already the first thing you go to is you're fetishizing a Black man by what's between his legs. So you're only thinking about black dick. Yes, you have mixed race children, but you have to think that it's inappropriate and uncomfortable for you to be saying, okay, who cares if they call me an N lover, or is that, yeah, I like black dick. So Chloe's pretty much, the fans are saying that they want the Keeping Up with the Kardashians or the new Kardashian show on Hulu. They want Hulu to pull it, or they said they're not going to they're going to unsubscribe from Hulu, basically. So, what say you guys on this matter? Lindsay, you want to go first?
I'm very huge with certain words and comments. I don't tolerate it. I mean, us in the past, when some of us get mad, we quick to drop the F bomb, and you know which F bomb I'm talking about in our gay
Mm-hmm.
community. And I'm always like, I don't care who it is, don't say it, right? I get
Mm-hmm.
very offended by it. What I will say though is, if you're telling me a story, you guys are talking to me, and let's say we're reading the comments, someone's watching our show, and they drop the F bomb, like, oh, these are a whole bunch of Fs on the video that I'm watching, and you're speaking to me and you're telling me, oh, this person said we're a whole bunch of Fs. I don't This is in my opinion, I don't personally take offense to it because you're not seeing it. You're telling me this is what's being said. This is the comment. If I'm asking you, hey, what's going on? Why the hate? What's going on? And you're telling me this is what they said. then I see it, I won't like it, but I see where you're coming from. If you really look at the narrative and what's going on in the situation, and this is the part that I always say, it's very important to always make sure we find out the context and how it was said and why it was said. She didn't say she has a fetish for black men or her family. She didn't say that, even though that's what we all say, we all see it. What she was saying was, this is what I'm being called. This is what they're saying. They're saying that, yes, you love the black D's and you love the black man and you love the end. You're an end lover and stuff like that. And it's just like, she's saying, okay, so what if I am? Like, what are you so pressed about? I think what's important is she should not have used that word, plain and simple, but she's repeating in the sense of, this is what I'm called. I'm going to tell you what I'm being called. Leave it the F alone. Like who you like. That's how I see it. I don't want to argue anyone's feeling, because if I feel some type of way, I would want you to respect it. So I respect this, and I totally am on the side where you should not use any labels. Don't label me. I don't want you to label anyone. Using the N word, no matter who you are, shouldn't be used. So that's
It's
a
this
no.
picture for me, but
I was just gonna say, I need this. I need this picture.
But if you guys listen to it and you're watching it, and if you actually watch this episode, which I have had, and you watch the whole scene, not just this, you do see that she is saying, hey, this is what I'm being called. This is what they're saying, or this is what they're saying to you, Kim. And so what? So what? It's almost like if Chris, you would talk to me like, so what do they call? Like if I say I don't want to be in drag anymore because they keep calling me F bomb this and F bomb. Like, okay, so what?
Mhm.
So what do they call you the F bomb? So what do they call you flamboyant? So what if they call you this? Do what serves you best. So should someone be upset because you said it? You're using the context and saying, okay, this is what you're being called, but pass through it. Who cares? That's how I see it.
Well, I would say, like, if she's not fetishizing black men, then why are you so bothered by it? Which means that maybe that is what she's doing, and it does affect her because maybe she feels that there is some truth to it. I mean, just don't, to me, it's just, there's a lot of things. I mean, look, it's not only this, but it's also, the fact of the women, black women on leashes, and you're playing a pimp like that. So that goes back to a trigger of slavery. When you have black people on leashes, you got to being held by a white person, and automatically you're playing into the whole pimp culture, which is associated with when you watch a lot of the old black exploitation movies and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That was kind of like it plagued into stereotypes.
Agreed.
Which in those films in those days, if you want to look at the context, it was sort of empowering when you saw the Cleopatra Jones and the Superflies and you saw the Shafts and those type of movies. When you do those black exploitation, it's within that. But then Khloe feeding into this narrative, it doesn't help them in some sort of way. Like okay. I'm going by what you're saying because I don't keep up with the Kardashians. I know you tend to keep up with the Kardashians.
Yeah.
I don't know to what length, to what
it looks like Britney
Remy does. Oh, so Lindsay's probably the bigger Kardashian watcher out of all of us?
But besides the fact of being the watcher, like I said, besides being the bigger forget, me enjoying the fact, forget that. What I want to talk about, I want to make sure we stay on board because, I'm very fair all across the board. Mm-hmm. I could love you, but if you do something wrong, I'm going to call you out on it. What I'm saying, like, I agree with what she said and what she's doing, right? But what I'm saying is if someone is doing something against their will, so if you see a group, I'm just giving you that, if you see a group of the KKK is coming to beat someone up and you're hurting someone, especially someone of color, that's terrible, right? The narrative right here in this picture, if you see it, doesn't help, and it makes sense what you're saying. But this is what I'm saying, going back to the narrative, where was this at, and why did these girls agree to do this? If someone's going to come and invite me to do something, and I think, that's not a good look for me, or if I think it's a homophobic type of thing, I'm like, I'm not going to participate in it because I don't stand for that.
Because all skin folk ain't kin folk. It's just the same way with the LGBTQ community. Look, Caitlyn Jenner, let's use her for an example. She may be trans, but a lot of things that she has incorporated within the trans community is problematic. There was a recent story that came out that she posted something transphobic about another athlete who was performing in the Olympics or something or another. Mm-hmm. So skin folk and kin folk, we got that little black child, the one that the NFL player who is a Trump supporter and all this other stuff, and he's gay and talking about high gas prices. But mother father, you're not even paying for your gas. Like your daddy is taking care, you were paying your bills, and you pumping all that gas in the SUV that you're driving around. But so to me, it's just sort of, like I said, all skin folk and folk. Black people agreeing to the pimp culture and racist things because some white person has more clout is going to give them attention. I look at them sideways too. So they're just as wrong for participating in this, just as Khloe being the one to say, now, look, if she's defending her sister, you could definitely do that and this and the other and be like, F the haters, this and the third. But the fact of you saying the N word so easily, letting that roll off your tongue and doing this and the third, to me, that is just as problematic. So you defending your sister, you can do all of that. And if y'all love black people and black, and love being in relationships with black men and this and the other, even though quite as is kept, these girls have no loyalty when it comes to respecting girl code and stuff when it comes to men, because she is notorious for sleeping with other people's men. French Montana was with another woman. She was dating them, and then the one with Tristan. And that's
my baby's black. Hashtag I only like black. That's what I would say. All I get called is a lover all day long. Who the cares?
It's just saying the context of it doesn't work in her favor.
Well, I agree 100%. Like if we're going just that, listen. Like I said, I am here for it. You're not going to change my mind on that. I agree 100%. But if you watch the whole thing and know where it was coming from, like I said, regardless of the fact what you just finished, what spurred out of your mouth is never going to be okay. And you and I have spoken about these kind of things many times. I don't want anyone ever using these words ever. So I agree. Like I said, I agree to it. But if we're watching the whole thing in the context and how it was played, then yes. So I would. What I want this message to be thrown out. I mean, to not be thrown out, but to be thrown out there is, let's focus on what she said and why she said it. But let's not change the narrative and be like, oh look, she just said it. She just like changing it in the format, saying this is how she talks and this is what she's saying and this is what she meant. Like, don't change that part. Let's not add more fuel to the fire. Let's correct it. Let's educate her. Let's show her, hey, don't be so dumb and saying these kind of things because it's so offensive. Hey, I understand what you were doing. I understand you was protecting your sister, but the culture and the community that belongs to us, you have to respect, just like we respect you. It's those kind of things, but don't manipulate something. Don't manipulate a situation, or just literally have that clip that's been aired everywhere on TV at this point, just talking about that little aspect. Where did it come from? I feel like if we're having a conversation right now and someone wants to edit a conversation, just 2 words, if I was to drop curse words here and you drop the curse word here about this song, they're going to say, oh, there goes Kris and Lindsay saying something they shouldn't, and they're always going above and beyond. But did you watch the whole scene? Did you understand the whole topic? Did you understand why we said what we said? You understand what I'm saying? Like, let's attack let's attack how it was presented, fine, but don't change it and say this is what was said or it was meant for it to be this way. That's how I personally take it.
Can I just add that I am not going to be canceling my Hulu account because they have all the seasons of the Housewives on there. So that's my go-to.
I think they should have said cancel the show, not cancel Hulu.
Well, look,
I think people should have said that.
Well, I would say this. It's the same as how I felt about with Dave Chappelle on Netflix. People were like, boycott Netflix, cancel Netflix because of Dave Chappelle. I'm not watching Dave Chappelle. I don't care about Dave Chappelle. I don't think Dave Chappelle is funny. Let Netflix keep Dave Chappelle over there and say what he said, because they could say the same thing about us with all the queer content that's popping up on Netflix. Y'all need to cancel that because I don't agree with what's going on up in here with these gay characters and that's the other. People have a right to watch what they want to watch. If you don't like something, and this is probably going to be the ongoing theme that we're going to be talking about in this show, because we're going to bring it up probably again with the whole Sex and the City situation, is that if you don't like something, don't watch it. I don't keep up with the Kardashians, so I'm not going to be watching it. Let Hulu, they already spent their money, and the girls are getting $100 million, I guess, allegedly from doing this show over on Hulu. Let them have their show. If you don't like something, don't watch it. I'm not getting rid of a streaming service because you're not happy with someone that they said something to get rid of a whole streaming. Like, that's ridiculous. To me, it's like you said, if you don't like it, don't watch it. So I won't be supporting it. Just like I ain't watch Dave Chappelle special.
When we roll out our merch, I'm making mugs that say, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Because
clearly we need to.
I love it.
So yeah, and then also just to wrap this up, Khloe, whatever context you meant this in, like I didn't see the whole clip. Like Lindsay said, she saw the whole clip, so she gave us more nuance of the situation. But the fact of the matter is, I don't care what context it was used. You don't get to use it. I don't care how many black dicks you had up in you. I don't care if you had more black penises up in you than the NAACP meeting, the BET Awards, or the Film Awards combined. You don't get to use that word ever. And I don't care how many black kids you kept coming out your how many babies you want to pop out that's mixed race out of your Tootsie Cat. The thing is, don't use the word. You don't let it slip out so easily. So, and you should know better, because you can't, with many black people you're around and you have a mixed race child, you should know better. We shouldn't have to educate you at this point. You're almost 40. So speaking of Kardashians, let's talk about Blac Chyna. So apparently there's a victory in her case against the Kardashians. So she can move forward with her plan to depose her ex Rob Kardashian family members as she attempts to fight off his assault lawsuit. Now, according to page 6, Chyna's attorney Lynn Ciani told the tabloid in an exclusive statement this past Monday that they are very pleased to announce the Lash Cosmetics founder will be able to question Kim Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, Kris Jenner, and Kylie Jenner because the trial court agreed that they are not above the law. Now, however, sources on the Kardashian side told us that Chyna, who is 33, originally requested each woman be deposed for 7 hours, but at the hearing, Ciani said she'd agreed to 4 hours. Now, in the order, the court ultimately cut 4 hours in half, granting only 2 hours per person, saying, oh my God, what happened? Oh, they're saying, we are pleased the court limited the scope of the depositions to minimize the burden on the very busy members of the family. Michael Rhodes, counsel for the Kardashian-Jenner family, told Page 6 in the statement. Now, Page 6 reported in September of 2017 that Rob, who was 34 now, was suing Chyna for allegedly trying to strangle him with an iPhone charger cord after consuming copious amounts of drugs and alcohol. The reclusive reality star said at the time that he was able to escape but claimed his ex-fiancée had repeatedly struck him in the face and head. He claimed he suffered injuries to his neck, which was documented on social media. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's coming out with this. And Chyna said 2020 that she had bombshell evidence that would prove that she never assaulted Rob. So yeah, there's a whole lot that's coming out about this. This case is getting messy. Looks like there's a victory coming in Angela's side. What do y'all think about this topic?
Mama's is not a fan of Blac Chyna. I mean, all the craziness comes out. You're a hothead and you're a fool and you do things like that. It's just crazy. But I am rooting for her in this aspect because assault, abuse in any relationship is not okay. And obviously she's not letting this go away. She's been trying to fight this since it happened and it got thrown out because of the Kardashian family and whatnot. And she's fighting, she's keeping her ground, and she's still going after them. And I'm assuming she's doing it for all the right reasons. You know what I mean? So kudos for her, and I hope it works out in her favor because, I mean, listen, if it was thrown out the first time, anybody else would have left it alone. The fact that you're still fighting for it, to me, is one of those type of things where, like, if somebody's really fighting hard for their word, then they have to be telling the truth. And clearly, if she's not giving up, then something is up. Can she be guilty? Did she hit him? Did she choke him with these? I didn't realize how strong these Apple wire chargers are.
That's what I was surprised about what I heard.
Mine's be burning and busting and tearing like there's no tomorrow. So that's pretty crazy. But even if that's true, even if she did do that to him, we don't know what the context was. Did he smack her around? Did he say something he shouldn't? Did he threaten her? Like that, she just didn't just wake up and decide to choke somebody. It doesn't make any sense. But I also want to know where they purchased those wires from because I need mine to be a lot stronger.
It's the ones you get from 7-Eleven. The ones that aren't Apple certified. Okay. I think it also doesn't help in her favor the fact that, like, not too long ago, wasn't there reports that she had locked people in her hotel room after doing drugs? Like, this doesn't help in a way because it's like you're talking about assault and abuse, but you're out here doing this to people, random people, not even just celebrities. I don't know. I feel like she has a lot of silencing of herself. Like, she needs to lay low for a while this plays out if she wants it to work out in her favor. Yeah, she's just a mess.
Listen, this could hurt her in court. Obviously, I agree
Yeah.
with you with that. I think that's so smart and staying low. But I want to make it very clear: it's what she's saying is not a lie. You know what I mean? Like if I got hit
Yeah.
in the eye, I'm like, oh, the truth is I got punched in the eye. Now, if I smack people left and right, okay, you can hold that against me. Like, well, that's what you get. But she's speaking her truth, and what they're saying basically is that this is all made up. She never did it. So she's just crazy, throw it out. And that's the part we need to make sure. Like, yes, she is nuts, and yes, she's kidnapping people in hotels rooms and doing drugs like there's no tomorrow. It doesn't look good on you. But
Allegedly.
what we can allegedly, but what we
Allegedly.
cannot forget is she's talking about this situation and her being abused. So yeah, hide for a little bit. Don't come out. Don't post anything until it's time for you to go to court, and then speak your truth. Live your truth, like me and some
Because it seems
of
like
our
every
friends
time
say.
she comes out is always a mess
Mm-hmm.
for anything.
It's true.
Exactly. I don't have anything to add to that. I'm just like, y'all pretty much said everything that needed to be said. And Angela's, I don't know, it's just been I agree with Lindsay. I don't feature Angela either. I don't particularly care for Blac Chyna. I know they still trying to make Blac Chyna happen with all these reality shows. She's not interesting. She really isn't. She's not an interesting person to carry a show on her own. Speaking of which, you want to know something? What I want to bring up real quick, and it's not even on the docket. Yeah, you know, you talk about people who fucking up their brand and stuff. Have y'all been keeping up with Portia and that horrible ass
Yeah.
show that she got over at Bravo?
I love,
And I
love,
love the
love,
fact that
love,
they're.
love Portia. I love
I
her,
love the
but I'm
fact
not
that they're.
watching the show.
Yeah, I'm so glad that this show has proven my point that you know what, she really is not the brightest. This is the same girl that actually thought the Underground Railroad was an actual railroad that had trains and everything under it. So I'm not surprised. To me, and I'm glad that people are proving me right when I said weeks ago when the show first started that she's messing up her bag, like her brand. She's messing it up with this foolishness of fighting Dennis and Dennis's mother. And I do believe that she still got love for Ray J. No, I just want to say that so bad, but I feel like she definitely got love for Dennis. Like I'm still feeling that. To me, I think that she's stupid for leaving the Real. Like this whole thing that's going on, what's happening with this show. This could have been a whole storyline for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She should just go back. I feel like she could have really centered herself with the center peach, but now it's Kenya's the center peach over at Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she has screwed up her bag. She was stupid to leave this nation. She was stupid enough to put all her eggs in this Bravo basket. I don't think she's going to get a second season. And I feel like she's tarnished her image because of the buffoonery that she's doing with this thing. And then she went and said on social media, there was so much that you guys didn't see and the cameras didn't capture, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, okay, so you're on your social media. Enlighten us. Let us know what the hell it was that happened for you to have the outburst that you had. So I don't understand why you didn't tell us. Clearly, it was nothing that was going on because you ain't tell us nothing. So, Portia, use a danger girl is what I'm gonna say.
I know, and I love Portia so much. That's my girl. I've always been Team Portia, but I'm not team watching this solo show. You know, it's like that artist in the group. I want to go
Yeah,
solo. And it's like I loved you and I loved you in the group. I really do, and I love who you are. And then you just listen to the music and you're like, oh, that's not my no. That album flops. This solo show is just a flopation for me. I hope she comes back the following season better than ever and does what she does best in the Atlanta Housewives.
And I'll also catch the Spark Notes version of her book too.
and I also I also don't think this relationship with Simon's gonna last.
No, I
You
definitely.
pretty much you gave up the house that you had that you spent with your own money to move with this man and be able to go on lavish trips and stuff. So this is all for pomp and circumstance. Simon is very much a hit it and quit it type. Like he looks like he's the type that gets with you and then he gets bored. Then he moves on to the next prize package. And there's only but so much he's going to be able to take from all the drama that's going on with Portia. And he's riding high because he's liking all the attention. But I just feel like she's just she didn't think all this through, and she's gonna realize a year or two from now that she's making a big mistake. Speaking of mistakes, we're gonna talk about that. I think another one making a mistake, Colton Underwood moving and getting a whole house with his man after only dating for a damn month. I don't understand you gays doing that shit either. But moving right along, let's talk about the Pussycat Dolls. Speaking of fools, Pussycat Doll members Jessica Sutter and Carmit Bashar say that lead singer Nicole Scherzinger canceled the group's reunion tour without even telling them. Now, this is according to a social media post of the pair who claimed they first learned of the cancellation was in the singer's Instagram story, saying, "We want to say how incredibly disappointed we are to learn of an announcement made on Instagram that the Pussycat Dolls reunion tour is canceled," Bashar and Sutter said in a joint statement posted to their Instagram accounts this on Saturday. Now, as of now, there have been no official notification of that. Either way, it seems as though it's the end of the chapter to an incredible life-altering experience filled with some awesome memories, and we will forever be grateful for. Now, what is it? Now, Scherzinger, Bashar, and Sutter, along with Ashley Roberts, Kimberly Wyatt, and Melanie Thornton, announced a 10-day reunion tour back in November 2019. Well, actually, Melanie Thornton didn't announce it because she ain't coming back.
Right,
but due
she's
to the
not
pandemic, the dates were postponed. And even Robert Anton, the group's longtime manager, who is currently suing Scherzinger, also cast Scherzinger's announcement as being rogue in nature, saying, "Myself and all the girls have been waiting on the rescheduled reunion tour dates for a long time. All of us working so hard to make it happen. All of us have made personal and financial sacrifices, but that's what it takes to be a team player in a band. Let's not forget, there are 5 other members of this group who I care for deeply, who deserve to be heard. There are truths to the situation. I just hope one day they see the light." Now, this has gotten messy. I think it's the end for this whole Pussycat Dolls thing. It would be nice to see them get back together, but unfortunately, Nicole keeps showing her ass, according to the other girls. What do you guys have to say about the Nicole Scherzinger drama?
Or give it like another 6 years and they'll be back together.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of true, but that's the reason why Melly didn't come back. No, this goes back to, when we did the pilot episode for this show, when we were talking about Nicole, and we were like, that's who she is. She thinks she's that diva. She thinks, like how Beyonce is, and you guys are back lightly vocalist, but straight up dancers, and that's how she sees it. You know what I mean? Even on tour, like I remember when they were going on tour with Britney, and this had a big fight. Like she would get the best rooms, and the other girls get almost nothing. She gets paid the most, and half these girls was getting paid what backup dancers normally gets paid when they go on tour. Mind you, they're the face of the Pussycat Dolls. But this goes back to Nicole being that bitch where it's about me and nothing else. And don't come here thinking you're a team player. I feel like everyone did confirm when they were going to the first time that she reached out to all of them, that she had this conversation. She's like, I want to go out, I want to go on tour, I want to, bring the group together. But I feel like the hidden agenda was, I want my voice to be out there again. I want to be this pop star, and I'm going to use you guys, because you were quick to cancel without having these confirmations that these girls ain't getting paid like you. They're not on the Masked Singer. They don't have this kind of thing. They whatever job they had before, they just abandoned it to do this tour. And it's like, shame on you. It's almost like us doing the show. We have the 3 of us. We have EJ. Thank you to EJ, who's always helping us, edit and put this video together. But that's almost as if one of us decides to do a Trump move like that, or decide we want to go a different route without having this conversation. It's like, one of us is basically saying F you to everyone else, when at the end of the day, we're trying to show, and behind the scenes, we're talking about how every voice is just as important. You know what I mean? So it's like, by you jumping on board and you're doing that, you're disrespecting the ladies. And it's a shame, because you're messing it up for the fans who really like your music and want to see you, and the new generation is getting into you. And they're seeing you for who you are, and guess what? You're never going to have that musical career that you want. At this point, you're definitely not going to get it. Just give it up, girl. You had a chance with the Pussycat Dolls. You canceled it, so now you're canceled. So stick with the Masked Singer and doing the live Annie shows on TV, which is the best of luck. But you're so, for someone who's so pretty, it's a shame that their inside is so, she needs to eat more makeup.
Not eat more makeup.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you on this. To me, it's like, look, everybody knows that you pretty much make more money outside of the music industry. A lot of the girls aren't really making the money that they would make back in the day from doing music. That music doesn't really pay, which is why everybody's still waiting on this Rihanna record, and Rihanna's just coming up with so much other stuff and not releasing no music, because she knows that she makes money from doing other shit. Same thing with Nicole. Nicole is making a lot of her money from doing a lot of these TV shows. Like, she's got the Masked Singer, and she's making I don't know what her salary is for that show, but I'm sure it's a livable wage. She also did. What was the other show that you said that she was on? That
She did Annie. She was in Annie
oh
for
yeah, she was at Annie,
the live
the Annie
show.
Live, and then she recently was on an episode of Finding Magic Mike, where she did a guest judge on that. So she's pretty much out here making a name for herself in the world of reality television and competition television, that sort of thing. So she's making her money. So it's sort of like whether or not I keep, coming back with this show, it doesn't like Pussycat Dolls, I guess, is not high on her radar because she's got something to fall back on, which in my opinion, it's selfish to kind of think of that because these other girls, unfortunately, are not as well off as she is. We don't hear anything of what these other girls are doing outside of being a part of the Pussycat Dolls. So they were depending on this money and looking forward to going on tour and performing and all this stuff. And maybe it's the fault of the record label, and maybe Robin even played a part in this of creating this monster that is Nicole, where you put her on such a high pedestal. You're the songwriter, you're the lead vocalist, and you're going to be doing all the backgrounds and all these other things because these girls aren't the best singers. If they're more or less a burlesque act, and you're just the face and the vocalist because we want to turn this burlesque act into a pop act. But the other girls aren't the best singers. So if that was what you wanted to do in the beginning, maybe you need to state that instead of, which is kind of how I looked at it from the beginning. But then you keep saying these girls are singers and you're telling them one thing and then you're presenting another. So it's confusing. And now Nicole's got this ego and,
Yeah. Well, also don't forget another reason why they canceled this is because she's going to court, I'm sure. Like she's trying to sue Robin as well because she wants 90% of the Pussycat Dolls royalty. That's really what she is fighting for. She is the lead singer. She's the main face. So she wants that. And the fact that they're all saying, no, you can't have this. Then she's like, okay, well, then I'm not doing the tour. I'm going to continue. And this goes back to originally what we were saying. Like, you fucked everyone over and you don't have the respect. Because you can fall back on what you have. You have the good gigs. Not the big gigs in the world, but you're on TV. You're going to pay good money. You get to do more endorsements and stuff. But these other people who don't have that luxury is not. You understand what I'm saying? It's like you didn't earn it. You want to be like the Madonnas of the world and the royalty she gets on tour. You want to be like the Beyoncés. You want to be like the Rihannas. You want to be like the NSYNCs of the world where they go on world tours and make this massive money. But honey, you're not it. So by you trying to be sneaky and because you're not getting what you want, it's 90%, which is a lot. It's a lot to own the rights to the Pussycat Dolls because you did not create this on your own. You were just made into this factor. Now, you was the most favorite and you was the diva and you was the high queen of it all, but you can't win it all. You can't fight it.
It's not called Nicole Scherzinger and the Pussycat Dolls. It's
the
Pussycat Dolls.
That part. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Split that little 16 ways. Split that 6 ways. Get your little 16% and take what you get.
Exactly. And if you want to do something off the back end where it's like y'all get a percentage of the merch or whatever the case is, then that's great. But you can't sit up here and think, because I'm contributing so much to the group that I get a huge chunk when Robin Anton created the Pussycat Dolls and you got to be a part of it. And yeah, because you were part of Eden's Crush and that sort of thing, and then you came on and you wound up doing this show, and this whole situation, you don't get to get a bigger piece of the pie because you're the most popular in the group. That's like Beyonce doing that with Destiny's Child. Like, I think even the Beehive would drag her for doing that.
Yeah, but here's the difference though. If Beyonce wanted more money or demanded more quality, she can. So at the end of the day, whether we like her or not, she is that artist. She sells. Like on her own, she's the queen bee. So for her to jump on and go back to the group, would I be surprised that she would make them more, demand more things? No. But here's the thing, Nicole, you on your own, you're not that girl. You don't sell. So you're just as equal as these other girls. The only difference is you just happen to be popular. We've always said this. For some reason, it works for Nicole. Nicole outshines and she does the best when she's within that girl group. Alone, I mean, no, I've listened to some of her music, but no one's looking for you. No one's looking for you as far as music. No one knows you. You're not that girl. You're not even an opening act for a solo artist. You're just not. You are not. It's not going to happen. So it's true. Humble yourself and earn the 10% more than the other girls are getting. Get your 10%, but going 90 and wanting own rights to stuff, like, goodbye. Leave that for like Beyonce, like leave that for the real queens who are selling, who is the face. You understand what I'm saying? Like Bethany leaving New York, like she comes back, she demands more money, but she brings it. She's what the people are looking for. On her own, she can do the best too. But Nicole, you're not. You're just not.
Mhm. I think we collectively all agree on that. And just like that, we're moving on to the next topic, which is, and just like that, Sara Ramirez didn't join the Sex and the City reboot to represent a community. So now, in a series where Big Dot on Peloton, or on a Peloton, Miranda bordered on Karen Hood and Carrie Pete in a bottle, Che Diaz has somehow become the biggest talking point of, and just like that. Now, fans are divided with their stand-up terrible podcast, and perhaps most of all, their odd insistence on full naming themselves at any given opportunity. So yeah, the fans are pretty much irritated by Che's character, but what they said was Che is written to be bolshy and bullshot is bolshy or bullshot, whatever. Che is written to be bolshy and in your face. We'll go with that. When it was first announced that Sara would be joining Sex and the City sequel, the non-binary character was described as a big presence with an outrageous sense of humor. And it seems though Ramirez had an inkling Che might turn some fans off, saying Che isn't here to be liked. Che isn't here for anyone's approval. The actor said at a roundtable per Insider. Che is not here to represent the entire LGBTQ plus community or a spectrum of I said rectum or a spectrum or Spanish speaking people or Latin identified people or Hispanic identified people. They're here to just be themselves. No community is a monolith. Um, Speaking of monoliths, they also said, one of the writers of the show just offered some candid remarks about the new show and her followers. Samantha Irby penned the teleplay for the 5th episode of And Just Like That's inaugural season, and also sent out a newsletter to fans, and the fans basically went in on her and said that she was receiving death threats over some of the decisions made about some of the characters on the show. So just to round all this up, what do you guys think about Che? Are you featuring Che? Is Che a mess? And what do you think about fans threatening writers because they don't like the way some of their favorite characters or even some of the new characters are being featured on the show? And also has your opinions changed on the show so far, or you still liking it? That was a lot of questions.
I still like the show. Nothing about it has changed for me. I feel like I am appreciating the direction that they're taking it, and they're taking the story into a modern 2021's 2022 point of view and how the characters are adapting. So that for me hasn't changed. In terms of Che, I like the character Che, and I like that they're not trying to represent like this. I'm not trying to be the voice of all. I like that the actress is saying that, I'm not trying to represent all binary people or non-binary people rather, or all Hispanic people or all like, I like that they're letting it be known this is a standalone. This is one character who happens to be non-binary, who happens to fit this mold, and they're just doing them. And whether you like it or not, this is what you got. And I agree. I feel like you can't hate someone for the role. That's like everybody hating Yolanda, from the actress that played Yolanda, who killed Selena.
Yeah, Selena.
Just solely off the fact that because she killed Selena in the movie. Like, it makes no sense. How do you hate a character for like a character? That's how it's written. If you don't, again, like I said earlier, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Put it on a mug. I'm going to.
I love it. I 1000% agree with Remy on everything you just finished saying. Like, it's so funny because I am a big sex. I mean, I mentioned this many times, but I love me some Sex in the City. I collect all the DVDs. I rewatch them over and over again. I'm a fan of it. As I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate certain characters more than others that I used to. And the same thing for Shay. Like, listen, the character is built around what they are supposed to do, and I love that the actual actress, what's her name, Sara,
Yeah.
commented and said, "Hey, listen, this character is not meant for everyone to be liked, and they do what they need to do, and they're not speaking for everyone, they're speaking on their own." And it's so funny because that's exactly what the character always says, like in the opening act and during their comedy show, joined the show when they did a show at the place where they all went to go see them perform and whatnot. I'm like, this is what they do. And in real life, we have people like Shay. They are just like that. And I don't know. I love this character because this character you can tell they don't have a mean bone in them. They're very honest. They don't sugarcoat, but what they say doesn't hurt you. And I love the key role that's playing around Miranda. And I'm beginning to really think that I maybe the people who don't like um Shay are the Karens of the world, or the uppity, East Side housewives who watch the show because they don't understand that. You know what I mean? They're looking at it like,
do you mean all the people that are accusing the show of being too woke? That all of a sudden
yes,
you got these girls being around, oh, we got all these black people and non-binary
yes,
and all these other people,
yes,
and I'm uncomfortable because I've
Right.
never
yes.
experienced things like that
Yes,
before.
1,000%. I mean, remember a couple episodes that people were so upset it was so cringy watching, like how Charlotte was behaving because she didn't have more black friends and she was trying so hard to find people. My thing is like in real life, that's how it is, and the Upper East Side ladies are like that. You know what I mean? Like I pass by it going to work, coming back, and I see them all having their lunch dates and stuff like that, and I don't see more Latinos. I don't see more people of color around
Mhm.
this group of people. They're nipped in this bubble, and my thing is
Well, let's
if
point
that was
this out because
happening,
remember when we used to work together in our location, the only time you would see black people in these upper echelon areas, they're the ones who are raising those white babies while the
yes,
parents are out working. So y'all
right,
don't see that
right.
either, but
You
we
don't
see it
see,
because we
yes.
work around that.
And what I'm trying to say is the fact is, if that was happening in real life, I'm pretty sure these women would be nervous. Like, oh my God, I found a friend of color, or I found someone from a that's not a white person, and now I need to find this whole group because I want to make them feel welcome. So I feel like yes, woke, and it's so fitting, and it's so fitting with what's going on right now because, like I said, now that Samantha's gone, the storyline has to portray more than just the bubble of these three women. It has to happen with each individual and what's going on in their own lives. So yes, Remy, I agree with you, and I totally disregard what the people are saying. Like Sex and the City is still true to who they are and is crossing lines on certain situations, but people love it. Once the season is done, and hopefully they do another season, this main season that people are talking so much crap about is going to be a beloved season. And in the future,
There's
people are
supposed to be
gonna
another
they're gonna
season.
love it, and I'm happy for it. I'm sure in another few years, the younger youth who watches it is going to be like, "Oh my God, I totally see that." Because if all of us think about the old episode and we see certain things, we're like, "Yo, I just experienced this in my real life." You know what I mean?
And yep, and it's much like with other things that are from like the 90s or from the early 2000s. I can appreciate it for what it was for the era that it came out in because things were a different time then. But if
Mm-hmm.
the same show that happened in 19 whenever Sex and the Cities came out initially,
1998, I think. Mm-hmm.
1998, were to recur now and we were to watch it through 2022 lenses, it would not be acceptable, or there would be issues, or like people are going to nitpick at things and it's going to cause a bigger uproar. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to disassociate what it was before and appreciate it for what it was then and for how the direction in which it's going now.
Mm. I say for me, I love a controversial character. So if there's somebody that's gonna ruffle feathers or push buttons, I'm here
You
for it
definitely
because
do. You definitely do. No,
hence
in
why
a
I'm
good way. I know how you are because you're very like when it comes to films and show like yeah, we can slam the show for what it is, but there's certain characters, certain situations I've noticed, especially about you. You are intrigued by the one who is crossing the line, the ones who are like, I'm gonna be in this and I'm playing that role. Let's talk
Yeah,
about it.
because it's like with the issue that I have now is like I hate. And you know what? I understand the connotation of woke. It is being aware of people who are different than you, whether it's racism, homophobia, transphobia, that sort of thing. But the way I've noticed people using it online, it always leaves a nasty taste in my mouth because I feel like y'all trying to use it in a way that it's a negative. Oh, it's wokeness and da da da. It's like, oh, because it's challenging your point of view of what you're used to seeing, which is
Mm-hmm.
not to ruffle the feathers that you've been accustomed to. So
Mm-hmm.
to me, I like the idea. There have been moments on Sex and the City where I feel, and just like that in the beginning, where I felt like they weren't getting it right. That all of a sudden now these women have just all of a sudden found themselves a little black friend or a trans child, and this and the third. But
And
when you look
in
at it,
Indian
they're
culture.
yeah, but and then I heard people were saying that but I don't know. I need my Indian friends to speak on this. They said that they got the whole Diwali situation wrong. I don't necessarily, but Carrie did look fabulous going to that, that celebration though. That outfit was everything. And I don't think it was appropriating the culture, which a lot of people like to accuse white people of. That was an appreciation. Because, I say appropriation, assimilation, and appreciation. And to me, I felt like there was an appreciation of the culture when she was wearing it. She wasn't appropriating it. There was a difference. So, I like the idea that these women are incorporating themselves and showing that New York is diverse. Although there are people, like you say, on the Upper West Side or in the Upper East Side where there are white people who do live in their bubble. We've seen it on the Real Housewives of New York. How a lot of these women do sit in their little bubble and they don't go outside of that. Ramona is a perfect example.
100%.
But there are women who are Black that have that money and influence and power and control and all that stuff that live out there as well. And it would be nice to see TV showing that. And just like that is showing that. So it's like it's a damn if you do and damn if you don't situation when it comes to this show. And I do like the idea that, they are trying to open themselves up and expand that world and show us different things. Now, and I have actually started watching old episodes of Sex and the City. I'm on season 2 now. And I kind of like it for what it was. And yes, Samantha is missed. I wish she would be part of the show. And I know the fans are still upset about that. And that was kind of like the kickoff in the beginning where people were upset over Samantha not being a part of the show. But look, it is what it is. I'm enjoying it for what it is. I want to see how this show rides out. And then I'll give my overall opinion of whether or not I enjoyed it. But so far, I like the ride I'm going on. It's the same thing with Dexter. People mad over that ending. And you know what? It is what it is. I'm not going to spoil it.
I haven't watched it yet. I was waiting for it to finish so I could binge it.
And that was done. So now you can binge
it.
Okay, but people were upset over how the show ended. But I was satisfied.
Quiet as it's kept. If I'm going to be honest with you, and I haven't even seen this season of Dexter, but the way it ended, there should have never even been a reboot. But they decided to do it anyway because the people kept asking for one. So if you got a bad ending and this is what people wanted, you already took a story that had a bad ending and want to add on to it.
Yeah, they were. I think it was the original creator of the series. I think he left around season 4, season 5. I'm not sure. And then somebody else took over the show, and they didn't like the direction of where they were taking some of the characters. So the original showrunner came back and did a little course correction. So I think that's probably what the fans wanted. And I like the twist in terms that they did, but I think a lot of people were saying the execution of the finale felt a little rushed, felt a little anticlimactic, and they were upset. But you know what? You can't satisfy everybody. There's going to be people who like one thing, and there's going to be people who don't, like it and don't like it. So it is what it is. And my thing is, look, as we wrap this topic up, whether, these are fictional characters. They're not real people. There's no need for you to be out here sending death threats to a writer because you don't like the storyline or the topic or whatever the case is that they're coming up with. This is why I think is another reason why writers or even Hollywood is so scared to hit on hot button topics because the way a lot of you people out here with no lives are reacting. So,
well, there are people like this who exist. Remember, Misery, Stephen King.
Yes. Or never never mind. I was gonna say a show, but I don't think you both know the episode, so it's okay. But yes, Misery. Yes, 100%. Funny.
Oh yeah, you said you got footage of Kanye and the woman who girl. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because we could use that as an interesting topic. What do y'all think about this whole Kanye situation with his new girlfriend that I saw was recently hanging out with Madonna and Floyd Mayweather? I saw those pictures that was all over social media.
Yes.
Madonna looks good, but girl. Well, yeah, all of a sudden this new girl who they said is an actress, I couldn't name one thing she was in. But to me, I look at it as, we could show the footage. And then I heard recently he punched a fan who asked for an autograph. It's a whole. Madonna, okay. I love you, but girl, what are you doing?
She's living her best life. You don't
really is.
When you don't be swaying when you like your song.
Is this her?
At the bar.
Wait, what happened? Oh,
come on, Remy, trying to bring up
No, I had to pull up the IMDb
Receipts.
because
Like,
you
is
said
this
she's an
her?
actress. I want to see if she was in anything.
Yeah, can you
So,
name
like,
something that we've all collectively seen that she was in? Because I don't think so. I think, you know,
it says that
Kanye,
she was in Uncut Gems, which was that
Adam Sandler movie that was on
Adam
Netflix and
Sandler
nobody
movie.
saw.
Oh, I wanted to catch that film. I like the trailer.
Mm.
Everything her earliest work was from 2018.
Hmm.
And she's only been in about 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2.
I'm assuming she's more of a model than an actress.
She's been in about 10 things. Some of them are shorts. One of them is a TV show and a music video. She was in a Juicy J music video, okay?
Okay, Juicy
Ask
J.
I cannot. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, what do y'all think about this? Because you know what, me personally, I'm not buying it. This is all like Kanye using this white woman, and she's using him too. Because we talking about it, we ain't know who this girl was. Her come up is with Kanye, and Kanye is using this to bring attention to what he's got going on. Which I heard he's working on Donda the sequel. I don't even know if people listened to the first one, but
I didn't listen to the first one.
Did you or no?
I did not. I did
Oh
not.
yeah,
I should listen to it.
No, I haven't checked for Kanye's music in a long time.
Oh,
like,
he's headlining. He's headlining day 3 of Coachella.
Good for him. But yeah, I'm not featuring him. To me, it's like he's trying to make Kim jealous, but Kim's moved on. She's with Pete Davidson, who you know, and they're out and about eating pizza in Staten Island and going to the pharmacy and going to the movies and her trying to be all regular and stuff. And I also heard the rumors that Pete Davidson is in talks to host the Oscars along with Tom Holland.
I was say alone. I don't know if he could do it alone.
Tom Holland, I could definitely see hosting the Oscars because he's in one of the biggest movies of 2021. Like the movie's grossed over $1.5 billion. So I could see Tom Holland doing it. I can't see Pete Davidson because Pete Davidson gives me anti-Hollywood. Like he's not Mr. Hollywood glam. What does he know about films? I know he did the Staten Island film, but
I wanted to see that. The King of Staten Island.
I think it's on Hulu or one of those.
It's on Hulu now. It's on Hulu now.
So yeah, I can't see Pete Davidson, and I get it. They're probably going to pull him in because younger demographic, and they're hoping they can get Kim to show up, and that'll bring attention to the Oscars. But I'm like, that ain't why people watching the Oscars. The Oscars is, you know, it's the Super Bowl of films, but the Oscars is boring, especially with a lot of the movies y'all like to pick. So I don't.
He is a comedian.
He is, and I hear he's you know, he is pretty funny, but I just can't see him hosting the Oscars.
He's funny. I love me some Pete Wentz. He's my top 5. One of my top 5.
It actually makes sense because they usually have a comedian hosting it. They had Kevin Hart, they had Tina Fey, and
Alan.
Yeah, okay, it makes sense.
I think Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, they were Golden Globes.
They always do the Golden Globes. They always do the Golden Globes.
Which wasn't featured at all on anybody's TV this year. But we're going to talk about one of the winners later on, Michaela J. Rodriguez.
Well, I mean, I don't believe it. I think if Kim Kardashian were to hit him up today and be like, "Hey, let's get back together," he would drop whatever and go for her. I 100% believe that. Yeah, I think he's using the white girl for attention. She's using him for attention. Because quiet as is kept, from that little clip that keeps playing, she looks like Kendall to me on top of Kanye, and that looks a little weird. Like, oh, you're trying to keep it in the family.
Yeah, and to me, I've noticed that he's doing to her the same thing he did with Kim, which is, he's using her as his personal little project, dressing her up in the fashions and introducing her to a lot of designers. So she's his personal little mannequin. He loves, you know, he's David LaChapelle, and whatever woman he's in a relationship with, that's his Amanda Lepore. He just loves to, you know, use them as his muse of the moment.
There we go.
It's a little, I agree. It's a little creepy. But let's take ourselves a little break. When we come back, we're going to continue with this, there's more tea that's come out from this whole Jamie Lynn Spears basically spilling her sister's mental health business. Ray J talking about doodle stains in the drawers. Child, I don't know what's wrong with him. It's just, straight people, and y'all don't wash your ass apparently. So we're gonna talk about how some of y'all need to get a baby wipe, some soap, whatever the case is. A
baby wipe.
Oh, baby wipes, I should say. Not just one, because a lot of y'all think it's gay to wipe your ass. So a 22-year-old's OnlyFans page may throw him in jail. And we got some tea on Betty White. And we're also going to talk about MJ Rodriguez, because, child, a lot of people done died in this past couple of weeks. It's just crazy. Like, they say they die in threes. So we have three big legends in their own right that passed away. And we didn't mention Betty White when we first came back from 2020, into the new year. So we're going to bring her up because some news came out about what her cause of death was. They said it was natural causes, but apparently there was a little something that happened prior to the natural causes. So we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. So let's take a little break. We'll be back with more Drinks and Drag right after these messages.
Last motherfucking time. Hey, get up! Get up! Won't be none of that today. And I better not see no write-up in your folder. And wash your damn face in the morning. Shit, get out my car. Get out!
Hey guys, so I know no one probably cares, but I'm gonna be doing a Shein haul today. Got some stuff. I'm gonna try it on. Let's do it. So first up, we have this really cute top that I got for only $6. The material is a little cheap, but it's still really cute, and for $6, why not? So yeah. Whoops. So next up, we have this one, which is kind of gigantic on me. I think I'm gonna send it back. It's literally huge. So yeah. And last but not least, we have my favorite one. It was only $5 and it's literally so cute. I love the way it ties right here in the middle. Here's the back. It's a little see-through, but I think it should be okay. Bye!
Well, hello there. We are back with more Drinks and Drag. Let's bring in our panel so we can conclude with these following topics. Child, them little I live for the commercial.
It's a little see-through.
I'm always scared to buy from Shein because
okay, so we got some. Okay. So we got some more tea that's coming out in regards to this interview that Jamie Lynn Spears did over at Good Morning America. So the rest of the interview premiered on Nightline, which I didn't even know was going down because I saw the interview on YouTube, so I didn't watch it on TV like I guess everybody else did. So Jamie Lynn discussed her strained relationship with her sister Brittany and the controversial conservatorship, and they're growing up. Now, Jamie Lynn further details the woes of her sister in her new memoir. The mental health of Britney Spears has remained a subject of pop culture psychology since the singer's well-publicized breakdown in 2008. Now, Jamie Lynn, who for the record is not a psychologist, is opening up about her own concerns about her sister's mental state, including several incidences that left her shaken. Now, one incident during the COVID-19 pandemic, Jamie Lynn alleges Britney verbally attacked her while Jamie Lynn held her young daughter in her arms, saying, "She cursed at me, so I just walked out of the room." I was like, we're all just family under one roof. I'm not trying to argue. And when I try to remove myself from the situation, that's when I guess she got really angry. And my oldest daughter tried to, mediate the situation. I hated that. Like, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're 12. Jamie Lynn further claims that when she confronted her parents about the incident, they told her she can't upset Britney. She also recounts a time Britney allegedly armed with a knife locked the two of them in a room together, saying, "I think that experience in my own panic attacks and how sometimes we can feel in those moments is important, but also it's important to remember that I was a kid in that moment. I was scared. That was an experience I had, but I also was fearful to really say anything because I didn't want to upset anybody or anything, but I also was so upset that she didn't feel safe." But you said all of this in this book, right? Now, in the interview, Jamie Lynn repeatedly asserts her love for her sister and family at large, while simultaneously sharing deeply private and painful details about her sister's mental health struggles and her family's alcoholism. So she said all of this, as we said, the fans went in on her, and one said, "Jamie Lynn deserves worse than being yelled at. My sister and I fought over far more petty shit." And another fan went and stated, "Continuing to paint the narrative that Britney is crazy, do they think that will get her back in a conservatorship so she can continue being their cash cow? Honestly, if my sister was Jamie Lynn, I would scream in her face too. Just a jealous, miserable cow." So the fans are dragging Jamie Lynn still in this situation. So now that we've got further details on what's been going on, and Jamie is still milking this cow, speaking of cows being milked, what do y'all think about this situation?
She needs to. What are we gonna say?
I was gonna say, if it's gonna put more money in Jamie Lynn's pocket and they don't need a mooch off of Britney, I will rewatch Zoe 101. I will put it on Paramount Plus. I'll stream the seasons. I'll let it play, and that way she could just leave Britney alone because she's just talking a whole bunch of shit. Like you said, she's not a certified psychologist. A psychiatrist. She's not one to be speaking on other people's mental health.
100%. I mean, listen, I think she should follow the advice we gave Blac Chyna, which is stay low and mind your business, because it's not going to work in your favor. Britney did say she wants to sue her family, and it's just a matter of time. Keep pushing that girl, because whether people say she's sane, she's not, she went through it. Listen, she's coming with a vengeance. Don't play with Britney, because you can just tell in her post stuff like that. Like, she's the sweet Britney we like, but she has a little bit of spitfire in her, and she's coming for all of you guys. And if
that's why the parents said don't upset her.
Right, but what I'm saying is you're doing it now, releasing the book and having these interviews and talking all this crap. Like, hide, because like Jason and Michael Myers, Britney's coming for you, okay? And she's not going nowhere. It's the truth. You
Mm.
know it is, and you know it's the truth. And guess what? The matter of opinion from the public, you guys are asked out right now. So no matter how many books you sell, no matter how you want to speak your truth, it's not gonna fly. You're literally wasting your time. You're wasting money. You're wasting outfit, even though it's tacky outfits. You're wasting makeup.
Oh,
You're wasting sitting down, and someone else could be interviewed at the moment. You're wasting the viewer's time because I'm telling you right now, there's not one family member that's going to win off of this. Brady's coming down hard on you, and everyone else is going to follow. So take your little coins right now, what you can, because that same money you're earning for the little 3-page book you got is what you're gonna pay back Brittany when she sues your ass.
okay. As for me with this whole situation, it look, I will mirror what I said earlier when we talked about it in the previous show. You know, ain't no good gonna come to you until you do right by Brittany and everything else is going on. I understand that you said that you didn't want to talk much about your sister, but it seems like that is the hot button topic because that's going to sell your book. And you're saying things about your sister in the book, but you're saying that you can't comment on your sister's mental health, but you're speaking on her throughout your book. And then spoke about it some more on Nightline. So ABC is no dummy. They milked this whole story for all it was because they can't get Brittany to tell her side of the story. So out of all this, I just say, you know what? I cannot wait for Brittany to write her own book. And when she writes her book, and I'm hoping that she gets the same person that wrote Mariah Carey's memoir, help Mariah put, stitch her memoir together. Because Britney's brain is a mile a minute, so you're gonna need somebody to be able to turn all of what she has to say. Because remember when she did the deposition in court, and they were like, "Oh, wait, you gotta
Yes.
slow down," so you can give the person a moment to type all of what you need to say on the thing. Um, I'm just hoping like what happens with Brittany is, you know what, she gets somebody to help write her book, and once the book is done, then she goes on Oprah and it goes on Apple TV or whatever she's gonna put it on, and then we get to hear Brittany's side of the story because I feel like at this point, if she has been pulled from this conservatorship, it's time for Brittany to tell her side of the story instead of everybody else spilling, having their say about her. She's not able to speak for herself except on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
So, speaking of people who probably should stop talking, let's talk about Ray J. So apparently he has one wish, pun on that, hence the song One Wish, has one wish for all the brothers: avoid white underwear at all costs. Now, Ray J went and posted something that said that men should wear black drawers instead of white ones so people won't see the doo-doo streaks. I cannot tell this story with a straight face. So, taken to Instagram recently, the 40-year-old dropped drawers, pun intended, while discussing drop drawers, cheaply gentlemen's undergarments, and the practice of wearing white briefs. Now, according to the singer-actor, men should refrain because if one wears white drawers or white briefs, the person who's washing your clothes definitely can see the doo-doo streaks coming out. Child, why are we talking about this? Now, after some people at TNT, as in the Neighborhood Talk, captured the clip of Norva's lecture, this is what he said. He was like, first off, yes, clean your ass, period. Wet wipes is a must. But my point is, black underwear is the safest bet if people wash your clothes. Y'all missing the point. I understand, like, it'd be a long day sometimes, but look, straight people already have a reputation of y'all talking about it's gay if you put soap in between your ass cheeks. So,
it's true.
And
It's true.
I've heard stories about a lot of oh, that's gay. Really? So wiping your ass is gay. So you sitting around here walking around with your whole ass smelling like a barn.
And that's why they smell like that. Think
It's
about
like bad
it.
enough you got some of you dudes out here who when you pull the turtleneck back, all that green swath to be up in the air and all that smegma. So I'm appalled by this topic. That's why we need to talk about it. What do you have to say
Wash your
about
ass, wash your drawers. That's all I gotta say.
What do you have to say about some of these people out here with doodle streaks in their drawers. And first of all, y'all grown.
I mean, he did say wash at. He did say that. He's just saying black underwears or bras for it to not look dirty. Now I like black drawers and socks, but that's what I like. I wear black. I love black anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Careful how I'm saying it. I don't want someone to cut my words up.
Say, Lindsay got doodle streaks.
I love to wear a black shirt, but a colorful underwear here and there doesn't matter. But let's not forget, it's very important for you to clean after yourself, because not only are you dirty, but you smell. So you're not only dirtying your underwears or whatever it is, but you're amongst other people, and I don't want to smell musty, rusty butt cheeks. I just don't. I don't. I'm good. It's just, but it's so funny because while we're in this topic, and you said it, Kris, like it's the truth. Like, I don't want to be like an asshole about it, but a lot of people do think, and it's not because some of them are just straight up dirty, or some of them don't know how to clean themselves, but a lot of them don't clean themselves because they think going in between your cheeks is gay. If your finger goes there, if any piece of paper goes there, if soap goes in there, and touching a sensitive area, it makes it gay. And it's just like, so you rather walk around smelling like you took a dookie 3 times before you came up to me and said hi to me, and you think that's okay? I can't. I can't and I won't. I can't and I won't. I can't and I won't. And if you have to wear black underwear because you're nervous, you know you're not cleaning yourself. You are not cleaning yourself precisely. Because I have bright colored underwears too, but guess what? When it gets washed, you won't see them streaks because you gotta clean everything. You gotta clean, and for us men out there, you gotta wash your balls too. It's not just cheeks. Your balls too, because your balls, when they get a little
when it's hot and you get a little sweaty.
Clean them. Not on top. You gotta go all under the scrotum. Just gotta go all under there.
Yes, and if y'all walking, and some of y'all walking around with a turtleneck, pull that turtleneck back, because stuff get up in there too. So
listen,
I don't need to pull that turtleneck back, and all of a sudden I see that green.
Let me up
in the air.
And right, I was just gonna say, the health class sponsored by Drinks and Drag.
Let me tell you, I love my feta cheese in a salad. Not on a man's stick.
You said feta cheese.
I said stick, by the way. I said stick.
They're gonna play this episode at every clinic going forward.
Brought to you by the Department of Health. Okay. Now I love feta cheese too. Just not when I'm trying to go downtown.
Right.
Okay.
I prefer it in my salad.
Before you catch like live footage of me throwing up on this camera.
Okay, so the moral of the story is wash your ass. So speaking of, well, let's move right along. We'll talk about something a little more less nasty. So an OnlyFans creator by the name of Khloe was arrested on December 30th in Singapore and charged with transmitting obscene materials. And the 22-year-old was charged with 2 counts of transmitting obscene materials via electronic means. After police received reports, he transmitted images and videos of his private parts. Now, the question, basically what it means is, I guess in Singapore, it is illegal to show sex or be doing sexual acts on I guess porn. So Lowe is believed to be the first OnlyFans creator arrested in Singapore, where the sale, distribution, and possession of adult material is illegal. The country also outlaws gay sex of any kind. Now,
this is a very true thing, not just in Singapore, but most of Asia. I'm not saying that I've dabbled into pornographic videos. I didn't go to Pornhub and search certain things, but I do know that if you are looking for Asian porn of any sorts, you are fully nude, and they do show the act, like you're actually doing it. But your southern area, it's pixelated for some reason. Images and the actual video, it's pixelated because it's illegal over there. So you can get naked, you can do porn, you just can't actually see the stuff. It's just very like I said, pixelated. That whole little area censored. It's very censored. So yeah, you showing full of it without the pixelated filter, you're gonna go to jail. You're gonna get arrested and you're gonna get sued.
And I know it's a huge risk that he's taking by doing that, especially since it's outlawed in Singapore. But if there's no other, I mean, if that's a way that he wants to express himself, I mean, I guess you have to abide by the rules in your country. I mean, it's unfortunate. Like, look, China, we already know the drama that they deal with out there with, you know, certain things they can say and things that you can
Mm-hmm.
do, and how you have to represent yours or present yourself in the media. Because I remember there was a story that came out of some guy in China who was an actor and he was getting a divorce from his wife because he had an affair, and they were talking about throwing him in jail or some craziness because Chinese performers have to present a certain image and I guess be a role model or some sort of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy how the things that we take for granted in our country, because it's crazy how in other countries you could be thrown in jail for producing of what they deem as obscene content. So he basically said somebody pretty much snitched on him about the OnlyFans content, and basically he's creating content for people who are of age. It's not pornographic, like child pornography or anything. He is 22 years old, so he's legal. And I don't know, the law. It's insane to me. Like, this is something that people are dealing with outside of the United States.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah.
heard. It's,
Mm-hmm.
well, you should learn the rules and regulations of the culture.
So yeah, we'll keep you abreast of the stories that develops. I don't know. They're talking about I'm trying to see. Well, it says next hearing is scheduled for January 20th, where he could face up to 3 months in jail and a fine for the 2 counts of transmitting obscene materials, and up to 6 months in jail and another fine for the criminal procedure court charge.
Ooh.
So
Well, look,
yeah.
at least it's not one of these countries that are like beheading people for stuff like this. So
True.
Oh yeah.
True. I would say fly out of there and come back home.
Mhm. So let's talk about Betty White. So apparently, there's some tea came out. The results basically said that she died from a stroke that she suffered 6 days before she passed. Now, her cause of death is listed as a cerebrovascular accident, according to her death certificate, which is a loss of blood flow to part of the brain, resulting in brain tissue damage. Um, Now, the certificate, which was obtained by TMZ, says Betty suffered from the stroke 6 days before her death. Now, sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Betty was alert and coherent after the stroke, and she died peacefully in her sleep at home. And not only that we lost Betty White, and I saw that they're showing the Golden Palace, which lasted one season. That's available on Hulu, I guess, if people want to watch
Mm-hmm.
that. I think B. Arthur was not a part of that spinoff, but
No, yeah, she wasn't.
so she passed, and then Sidney Poitier passed away, and I think he was 92 or 93. And then we just recently lost Bob Saget, who was America's dad over on Full House and Fuller House,
Mm-hmm.
and was a whole nother comedian because people were surprised. A lot of the fans who watched Full House went to go see his stand up and didn't realize that he had a potty mouth. So that was the overall hilarity about his situation. So yeah, they say that they go in threes, and this has been a crazy three in a row that we've lost some icons. So what do
Mm-hmm.
y'all think about Betty White and also the loss of three icons apparently um,
Yeah,
in the past, in less than a month?
yeah. I was thinking that. I was just like, it's gonna happen. Who else? Two more people, because I'm also a big believer in death comes in threes. I'm like, here we go, here we go, here we go. But it's sad. I mean, it is sad. Well, it's. I want to say it's maybe more sad for Bob Saget because I feel Mr. Portier. Am I saying his right? Potier. Am I saying his name right?
Sidney Poitier. You're not the only
Yes.
one that botches that last name. A lot. There
I'm
was somebody else
always
that was.
no, but Mr. Portier and Mrs. White. It's the elderly. You know what I mean? So at least it wasn't like sad that they passed away, but
yeah, it's
then
not like
like
they passed at like 32.
yeah, where it's like, oh my God, I cried or something. Bob. Bob was 50. Was 56 or something like that?
I
Six,
think it was in his early
60,
'60s.
Or early
64, I
60s,
think.
heart attack. Like, ooh, you know what I mean? I'm not discrediting everyone else's passed away. She's like, oh, you was a lot younger. It's like, oh wow, like that's that's crazy.
Mhm.
Was it
You
confirmed
know,
as to what Bob Saget passed away from, or Sidney
it was
Poitier as well?
it. It was a heart attack. Sidney Poitier as Mr. Poitier. I like saying Poitier. I like saying his last name.
I'm not a
I'm not
Um,
surgeon
necessarily
generally.
sure what Sidney Poitier passed away from. I mean, like you were saying, like they live long, fulfilled lives. She lived to be 99, although I'm throwing in some leap years, so she lived to be over 100. And
yeah.
Sidney Poitier lived to be in his early 90s, early to mid
Mm-hmm.
90s. So that's a long, fulfilled life, I would say. And they both broken down doors and barriers and have contributed so much to Hollywood. But yeah, I think the most shocking one was Bob Saget. Like I really felt that feeling. I'm like, oh my god! Like I couldn't believe it when I heard that he passed. I'm like, it just seemed like he was, and I know a lot of people were automatically trying to equate it with, well, he was probably doing drugs and stuff. Not everybody who's a comedian in a hotel room dies of a drug overdose. So
Correct.
he could have been like, eating the wrong foods and not taking care of himself. And with COVID going around, he could probably have some pre-existing conditions that we don't know about, like high blood pressure, diabetes, that sort of thing. So we don't know. I'm not sure what, but you said you heard heart attack.
For Bob Saget, I heard heart attack. I'm looking up right now. Sidney Poitier is while we're talking about him.
Yeah,
His
because they
death.
said he was laying in the bed and he had one hand over his chest. And when I heard and then one arm was on the side of him when he was laying down. So if you're clutching your chest, I would think that would be you probably had a heart attack in the bed and probably passed away from that in a hotel room. I mean, it happened. So I wouldn't be surprised if he had pre-existing condition, and could have been because he was performing all over Florida, and the laws and the rules that they've had being out in Florida, that it could have COVID is floating around out there, and they think the rules don't apply to them, and maybe he caught something. Who knows? I'm sure that the full autopsy will come out in a couple of weeks, and we'll get the full tea. But yeah, condolences to all three. Now, from one bad negative situation, let's give a huge congratulations to MJ Rodriguez, who took home the Golden Globe Award for her role on Pose, in which she played house mother
Yes.
Blanca Evangelista, saying, "This is for the LGBTQIA, Black, Latina, Asian, and many multi-beautiful colors of the rainbow around the freaking world." This is what she said on
Yes.
IG Live. This is not just for me. This is for y'all. This is the door that opens for y'all, or the one Gia Gunn opened. Not me, for y'all. There are going to be so many young individuals that are going to be able to trail in and storm in through the door. This is for y'all. Now, I will say, I am happy for MJ for winning. However, the credibility of the Golden Globes, I struggle with because they've been notorious for the pay for play and a bunch of other scandalous things, and not having any people of color on the panel because it's a bunch of the Hollywood Foreign Press. So it's basically a lot of press people from foreign countries who work, I think, in the United States or outside of the country. It's confusing, the whole thing. And the credibility of the Golden Globes has been questioned a lot, but it wasn't questioned. It didn't become more on people's radar until they found out there was no black people on the panel. So that's when everybody got mad. But overall, congratulations to MJ. Now, I heard she was overlooked for the SAG Awards, among others who were overlooked. A lot of people were complaining about the lack of awards and a lack of nominations of people of color. I keep saying, let's stop depending on Hollywood and the Oscars and the Golden Globes and the SAGs and those other people and create your own award show. But black people also don't like showing up to the Soul Train and the BETs and the Soul Train. I mean, and all these other award shows. Y'all want to be acknowledged by the upper echelon because apparently you feel you've arrived. But like I said, not to take away, I am happy for MJ winning and making history.
As am I. I feel like as I was gonna say Linda Evangelista. Wow, as Blanca Evangelista, she did such a great job. Like she did that role. I feel like it's well deserved, and it's about time that a trans person, nonetheless a trans person of color, wins this role for this show in which they're being highlighted, as opposed to someone like Billy Porter winning when Billy Porter only plays a fraction of the show and it's not entirely revolved around him. Like Blanca is the main
Yes.
character of Pose,
Hmm.
and rightfully so that MJ wins this award because, again, I felt like she did a phenomenal job.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad you said that because, you know, he came under fire over, and I'm trying to remember, did we talk about it on, we probably did talk about it on here, how he came in, he got into trouble over, you know, what he said behind the scenes, where he was basically saying like, oh, the fact that we're in the building should be enough. And it's like, no, that's not enough. Yeah. The fact that, oh, it's easy for you to say because you are a cis gay man who's winning an award on a show that's not run, but that is featuring 5 trans women in the cast who are in lead roles, and you are the sassy gay black male. I don't want to say stereotype, but that seems to be what people resonate towards. Like, we're accustomed to seeing, if you're going to be on a TV show and you're popular and people love you, you're playing the sassy gay man trope, which is expected. But to see someone who is layered and complex and really been showing her ass in regards to her acting, and has elevated so much in the 3 seasons of I was about to say of Drinks and Drag, of Pose. MJ has really stepped her pussy up in regards of her acting on the show, so it's well deserved.
So Billy Porter, again, like most people I talk about, Billy Porter is extremely talented. Heck, he is an Oscar win away from being a part of the EGOT Club. My issue with Billy Porter is that his ego is so astronomical that it makes it hard for me to root for him as an artist. And I think we got the first indication of his ego when he won his Emmy and they asked him how he felt about the ladies of Pose not being recognized, and this was his response.
That this win is amazing and historic, but the women from Pose were kind of ignored. They weren't nominated. I don't live in bittersweet. I live in the present. I live in the positive. The fact that we're in the building. The fact that we're in the building is the point. Right? We're in the building. The world has changed. Period. That's where we are. And now we got another season. And now they'll get their shot.
Now, it's no secret that the trans cast members carried Pose, and what Billy did was he took an opportunity to celebrate them and call out the Emmys, but he did not do that. He centered the conversation around himself and basically told them to wait their turn. His co-star India Moore even commented on what he said. She said, "I am not responsible for the ways Billy or any other cis man or person fail to represent, acknowledge, or directly support me and the other incredible and brilliant trans talent on our show. I am also hurt and disappointed. I have been for a while." Now, Porter did make an Instagram post acknowledging what happened, and he said, again, my win is their win. Child, take with that what you want.
But is it though?
And there we go. And there we have it.
But let's all not forget that Gia Gunn paved the way. First and foremost.
No lie
yes, she
there from
did.
Miss Gia Gunn.
Like Sara and Marsha P. Johnson. But anyway, on that note, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Drinks and Drag. That's 11 episodes down. Tune in next time for another episode of Drinks and Drag. Please click like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about the episode and all that good stuff. We definitely want to hear what you guys got to say. Also, follow our Instagrams. So at the bottom, our little handle, #DrinksAndDrag, get us trending, all that good stuff. And yes, so on that note, I'm Kris Avalon, and also my fellow panelists, Lindsay Aguilera and Remy. So until next time, love you all for watching.
Thank you. See you next week. Bye, y'all.
Keep the facts of life. Oh, wait. That one.
Yeah, where's the, I was like, where's the facts of life credit? It's indoctrinated into the show.
Saying on an experiment thing that was called television. Who would have dreamed it would culminate in an evening like this? I should be presenting an award to you for the privilege of working in this wonderful business all this time, and you still can't get rid of me. I often wonder about people who don't have some kind of passion, something that they care so deeply about that it never fails to fascinate them. How lucky can I be to have two such passions, show business and animals. Actually, I may have more than two passions, but that's none of your business.